I'm Leeann Waddington. I am the Associate Vice President for Teaching and Learning at Kwantlen Polytechnic University. My pronouns are she, her. My work at the university has shifted over time. Actually, I've been at KPU for a little over 10 years and I'm a KPU alumni. So originally, I was trained as a nurse and I worked in healthcare and healthcare leadership. And then I moved into teaching and then moved into educational leadership. My department supports all of the learning technology platforms that we use in instructional environments at KPU. We have an educational development team that supports course and program design and provides faculty teaching resources and professional development. And then we also support scholarship of teaching and learning initiatives, open education practices, and high impact practices for student learning. So I think professionally, what lights me up most is helping other people grow. I love leadership roles from the perspective of helping my team to be their best, helping people to grow into their next career opportunities, and to helping our department to deliver above and beyond what is the scope of our services. And specifically around teaching, I am a really big proponent of e-portfolio and folio thinking practices. So I spend a fair bit of time working in that context of our work and partnering with other institutions around that. Personally, what lights me up? I guess right now, my newest thing, I finished my doctorate a couple of years ago during the pandemic. Yay. So when I graduated, my husband said, I think you need a hobby. You can't just spend all your time reading anymore. And so just in the last couple of months, actually, I bought myself a horse. So being at the barn and out on the trails and just hanging out with my pony brings me back to nature and some self-care and some balance in my life. Well, there's much to ruminate on. I think right now there's a lot of ruminating going on around how we choose our path around generative artificial intelligence. I think we're still in a space of perhaps panic about the unknown and the level of change that might be needed. And is this helpful? Is it to be avoided? So I think there's a lot of dynamics around that for faculty, for students, for the organization as we contemplate risks and sort of where we want our position to be. So that certainly has been very top of mind. And I think along with that and just technology increases in general is the challenges around academic integrity and how we can design better, how we can shift our assessment practices so that we're preparing our students for the world they're going to live in, that we probably can't imagine the technology that will be in it, and still, navigate it in a way that feels safe and manageable for the people who are delivering that education. So there's kind of a lot of places, I think, where we have tension, right? Even early in the pandemic, the tension was online learning. This is horrible. People can't learn like this. Even though we have lots of evidence in the literature that there isn't a significant difference in learning outcomes, we still have people who believe we need to go back to normal. And so I'm always sort of stuck in this place of, well, what is normal? And what is our intention? What is it that we are designing for? Why did we choose to be part of the education system? What is our role? What's our philosophy around the value of education? And I think if we can come back to what we value in those spaces, we can make better decisions about what actions we should be taking. And so I think a lot of conversations with folks about why we do things the way we do them. I think we need to critically reflect on that far more often than we have historically. I think the most pressing challenge is the need for change, and how ill-equipped our education system is to navigate change. We have a very structured, tradition-based system with a lot of governance, and we're just not very nimble And we have folks who are ready to embrace the change and wish we were nimble, and we have folks who are going to come along kicking and screaming, if at all. And so I think, there's so many things that we need to rethink, that just the need for change and how to support it in our organizations is really critical. I like to challenge things. I believe that if we are silent, then we condone wrong in our system. And so my facilitation style with my team versus my peers versus faculty might be slightly different depending on the context of the conversation that we're having. But I think being real is super important. I think that we have to say, generative AI, for example, we held a think tank in the spring. And the feedback that I got from a faculty member was, you didn't tell us it was just all going to be okay. You didn't tell us it wasn't hard. You said, we don't have the answers. I don't have them. You don't have them. The system doesn't have them. There's no regulatory body who can tell us how all of these things are going to work. But we need to embrace the messiness because it's the right thing to do for our students. And so I think primarily my style is to just be real in all of those spaces, to say, we are where we are. We have in front of us what's in front of us. And so now together, what do we do with that? And I think that just those conversations and that acknowledging of things being hard, that acknowledging of learning that can occur, that acceptance that we might get it wrong. And that's okay, because if we do nothing, we're definitely getting it wrong. So, one foot in front of the other and, deal with what's in front of us, and just with good intention and open dialogue, do the best we can. This was an easy peasy question for me. My family and books. I love to learn. I read all different kinds of things. Maybe a toy between books and music, but I think, something that feeds your soul and the people that you love. So this is a pretty fun question, actually, because my team has done this as an activity where we actually picked each other's animals. So I've been told that I am an owl. An owl because I like to look from above, kind of see the dynamics, assess the situation, maybe come in and do something, solve a problem, whatever. And my colleagues and friends say I'm wise. I don't know where that comes from, that sort of saying of being an old soul. And so, yeah, I think that resonates for me, that the idea of being an owl, seeing the forest and the trees, moving back and forth between them, and the strategy that allows, and I think, is part of what creates my strengths. A little trouble with this question. I don't think I could pick just one artist because I love music, but I would say probably my most favorite genre across times of day and different purposes is country, because I like the story and I like rhythm and I like, the sentimental kind of component of music. And so you can kind of always find something in there, I think, that works.